Well, it's finally time to talk about some Disney sequels, huh? Well, let's start out with the first one, obviously. It's The Return of Jafar, basically Aladdin 2. Oh, and this is actually the first Disney direct-to-video sequel. Oh, and they basically were gonna... I think they were gonna release this movie in theaters, but the problem was... Well, since The Rescuers Down Under did poorly at the box office, I guess they didn't want to make a sequel in theaters at all. Also... I guess whatever, then. But anyway, well, this is the second Aladdin, second Aladdin movie. If you saw my review of the first film, DisneyYear Part 1, I consider that one to be an absolute masterpiece of Disney princess movies. And don't get me wrong, I still think Beauty and the Beast is a masterpiece, but I think I love this, I think I love Aladdin more. Or, I mean, why not? So, with the second film, a lot of people have a bit of a mixed feeling about it. Some people thought it was pretty decent, and some of them just thought it was bad. I'm gonna say right now, I'm just kind of in the middle. Well, actually, it's not bad. Well, it's not that bad. It's just not that engaging. Like, the story The story starts off with a bunch of thieves and their leader, a Beast Small, voiced by Jason Alexander. Aladdin and Abu basically foil his evil plans and stuff. They steal his treasure and then they head back to Agrabah. Well, that's going on. Iago and Jafar are still trapped inside of the lamp. So Iago escapes, but then betrays Jafar, or the stuff that he said to him. And then he heads to the palace, and then he sees Aladdin and basically tricks him to thinking that he's actually good. But we already know what happens. He does become the good guy in this movie. Which I don't mind, because I do love the character, obviously. While that's going on, a Beast Small returns, and then he tries to kill Aladdin, and then Iago basically saves his life. And then Aladdin wants to talk to the Sultan about it, but then keeps it a secret to Jasmine, which is so pointless. But anyway, the genie returns, but not voiced by Robin Williams, but voiced by Earthworm Jim actor. Homer Simpson actor, Dan Castellaneta. And I have to admit, he does a really good job playing as Genie. Well, he's nowhere as good as Robin Williams, but I think he does a really good job, though. So, he comes back, says some jokes, and then, sings a song to them again, unlike in the first film. Which is almost like a similar song to the first film, like Another Friend's song, you know? So, but then, later on, a Beast Small releases Jafar, or Out of the Lamp, voiced again by Jonathan Freeman, and tells a Beast Small that he wants to take it to Agrabah, and if he follows his orders, he'll grant his wishes. And he'll see it be epically rewarded. So basically, a Beast Small brings Jafar to Agrabah, and plus his evil scheme against Aladdin, and basically threatens Iago and stuff to help him out. He also keeps the other people, his friends, locked up, and then we have a big climax or something with them against Jafar, and then it actually ends abruptly. Because let's just say this is basically a pilot episode of the show that came out like a few days after, I think, its video release. And I will admit, the cartoon show is great. The Return of Jafar, though, not so much. But still, let's talk about the bad stuff about this film. For example, it doesn't feel as fun as the original. It kind of feels a little bit of a bore, and doesn't feel like it's trying to do anything that great to it. So, and plus, Aladdin and Jasmine don't have much of a chemistry like they did in the first film, surprisingly. The songs aren't as good as the first film as well. A lot of things aren't as good as the first film. That's the biggest problem. I know they're trying to make a sequel. They want to try to capture the spirit, but it doesn't really connect to other things that are happening in this film. This is definitely a film I could like. It would have been a decent flick if it did something better. Alright, so, what else? What else? Oh, then, when I already said the songs aren't as memorable. The jokes aren't as memorable as the first film, and there's not quite as much heartfelt moments in it as well. Oh, and in terms of its execution of the story, it doesn't go very well. Well, it's not to say it's poorly executed. Or some things are goodly executed, but when it just also like focus on Aladdin and parts, which he should be the focus, but yeah, that's another big problem with it. So I guess I already talked about the problems enough. About it. What is it I like about it? The animation itself is actually pretty decent for a direct-to-video film. Yeah, it's definitely a serious downgrade, but it still looks fine. The voice acting is still good. I like how the original actors came back. And like I said, I do think Dan Castellaneta does a good job. Jason Alexander as a Beast Mall is pretty funny, and then later on when he's in the show, he has an assistant. That's voiced by Uncle Phil from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Shredder. Or from, obviously, which Ninja Turtles cartoon. But yeah, a Beast Mall is actually a pretty enjoyable character. Jafar is still great. Jafar is still a great villain. I still think he's the best villain ever. And actually, the only thing that's actually kind of as good as the first film is the climax. I love how they try to get the lamp, and then Jafar is, trying to stop everyone from getting in, and then he sends Aladdin to he creates a lava pit, right by the palace, and then Aladdin is, on top of a rock or something. That's really awesome. Now, I actually thought that part was just as good as the first film. Well, that's the only part that's as good as the first climax in the first film. So, overall, I don't think it's awful, and it's not that bad. It's just not engaging. The show is engaging, though. And luckily the last film is actually much better. Alright, I'm talking about The King of Thieves, so that's tomorrow's review. So, if you have seen Return of Jafar, what did you think about it? Just comment below, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Stardust. Alright, then don't forget to subscribe, share the video, and I am the Bostonian Critic, and I am signing out. Take care.